Hello and welcome to another episode of Galactic Geeks. I'm your fellow Galactic Geek, Enrique, and of course, with me always is Alexis. Say hello to the lovely people.
It's your boy.
It's his boy, it's your boy, and and we're here.
What's up, everybody?
We're here. We survived Irma because she's a stunk ass bitch. Uh,
Yes, fuck Irma.
that was
She was a toughie.
it was
That was like that was pretty. That and everybody thinks, oh, water and running out of gas and power and stuff, but it tests you in other ways too. It tests your will to live and how fast you want to prepare yourself. And yeah, we survived, thank God.
yeah. It definitely pushes the limit of what you can tolerate for as long as you can without power, internet, and AC. AC being the survival real factor.
Yeah,
Because if you're from Florida, the humidity is murder. But
yeah.
but we're not here to talk about things that can actually kill you. We're here to talk about things that could kill you in fiction. Uh,
The things that can kill your imagination.
or can kill your imagination. That sounds like a deadly, sad weapon. Uh, you ever seen the Imagination Land episode of South Park? Great stuff.
No,
Great stuff. Oh,
enlighten me.
what? Oh my God. Oh, the terrorists are attacking our imagination. It's not a metaphor. It's completely literal. Uh,
like
eh,
like stealing like crayons or
no, no, no,
stealing
no. Going into a
or
mythical world of imagination where all these like pulp culture icons exist, all pulp culture figures and fictional characters, and they're gonna just blow it the fuck up. And like you see Cinderella and Jack Skellington and Optimus Prime, and yeah, it's a three episode arc. I'm surprised you've never seen it. It's the best shit ever. It's too much to go into because instead of talking about something that came out 4 years ago, I want to talk about Sunday's Rick and Morty, the
yeah,
Morty's
regular
mind
Rick.
Morty's mind blowers, which man, like you saw the episode. Obviously, we open up with Rick and Morty being chased by somebody that obviously looks like Neil Gaiman's DC hero Sandman, uh, and Morty looks into the Truth Turtle. And one of the best lines of the episode already is like, "Don't look into the Truth Turtle, Morty." And then and Morty's like, "Oh, geez, Rick, I looked into it." It's like, "Well, great job, Morty. Now you're gonna know everything."
Yeah, it's
And
like right then and there. Like that's the what starts off the episode, and so then of course Morty knows everything, so he's all like just like stressed out
distraught,
because
yeah.
he just can't handle all this information. He has like black eyes, black circles under his eyes.
Yes. And then Rick tells him, "Oh, he tells him we could just erase it from your mind, whatever." And then that's when we're taken to a secret room in his lab where we have all these little 40s old school capsules, light bulbs, but they're filled with Morty's memories of things that he's begged Rick to remove because they were either traumatizing or, well, mostly that because they were traumatizing.
But
And
but the
even Morty,
color of the little vials depends on who it's traumatizing too.
yeah,
Like the blues were Morty's, uh, the purples were Rick's, and
no, the Reds were
the
Rick's,
the reds were Rick's, right? And then
yeah,
the purple color was like
his family, I think.
that it was well, yeah, exactly, that it was their fault that he died or something happened wrong.
And of course, we get Rick breaking the fourth wall. Like it's basically a clip show, but it's like a clip show of episodes you've never seen. I think he even makes a joke saying like, "God, geez, Morty, they don't all have titles. This isn't a Simpsons Halloween special." Uh, which I love those. Those are the only time I even bother to watch The Simpsons anymore.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I remember kind of growing up that I would make it a point to watch the Halloween specials.
Good times.
Well, Bart's Treehouse of Terror events.
Yes, classics, classics. Um, but to the Rick and Morty episode though, which because it's basically in a series of flashbacks, and we don't have to get into all of them, but which one stood out to you the most? You tell me yours, and then I'll tell you mine.
Um, I actually don't know. They were all pretty crazy. Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Which one
Yeah.
was yours?
Oh, the one I think was the highlight joke was the one about him wanting to talk to animals, and, and then
Oh
like
yeah, the squirrels.
the squirrels, exactly. He builds them a machine. He's like, oh come on, Rick, who doesn't want to talk to animals? Most humans. Gives him a little fucking helmet with 50s freaking satellite dishes pointing at it, and he goes around. Morty's all smiles. He looks at a hummingbird. The hummingbird's just singing drink, 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 drink. He goes to the ants, and the ants are like, take food to the queen. Queen makes babies. But then we hear
Yeah,
two disembodied voices of people talking of of conspiracy and displacing political powers and installing a new pope, and it's the squirrels, it's the
yeah,
squirrels. And then it just gets extra creepy when the squirrels like look at Morty and they're just like, hey, wait, he's looking at us. It's like, yeah, of course he's looking at us. We're squirrels. He's a kid. It's like he's looking at us like he can understand us. And I think the best line in that whole bit is I just keep looking at the clips over and over is when it's like, a little boy over here,
yeah, yeah.
will grant you wishes.
um,
And you see the squirrels following Morty, and they're just freaking him the fuck out. And then Rick like EMPs the squirrels basically. It's like, great job, Morty. You fucked us, Morty. You fucked with squirrels now, Morty. Now we have to leave
yeah,
this reality, Morty. We weren't supposed to. We can only do this a few times. So I thought from beginning to end, I thought that was the best joke out of the whole freaking episode. Only
I
ending
looked.
only the second being how it ended. But but before we get there, we got the whole thing where they accidentally like they get into a fight and they erase each other's memories, and then Morty's just like trying to remember
Oh
who he is by putting all these crappy memories.
yeah, yeah. And then he slowly starts realizing that yeah, he's been the chump this entire time.
Exactly. I mean, they're his memories. Of course, it's gonna look that way, especially. Uh, and and then I don't even remember how they get to it. They just think that they should just kill themselves because they are obviously are both assholes or something. I forgot what the logic was there. But then you get
Yeah.
Summer like walking in, brushing her teeth, just like, oh man, Grandpa, are you okay? Is this a scenario three,
Scenario
Grandpa?
3 or scenario 4? And then he's
No,
like, "What?"
well, what? Oh, scenario four. And then she goes into a little lockbox. She's got a key around her neck. She opens the door, little instructions, knocks
Yeah,
them
yeah,
both out, and obviously like restores their memories. And this is where it gets to the second best joke of that episode, and I think it's when they wake up and they're like, "Oh, Summer, did you let us fall asleep during the during cable? You stupid bitch!" And they just keep calling her.
yeah. Just like out of nowhere, no, creative joke or anything. It's just you, bitch.
You stupid. And that was, but the whole episode was definitely one of the highest ones of this season, only to be
Yeah,
topped
the
from
last
last
couple
week's.
Rick and Morty episodes have just been insane. Like, episode this was
The
episode 8, and then there was Morty's Mind Blowers, and then episode 7, which was a Rick Lantis
Yeah, which was a
episode.
bullcrap title, obviously, because it was all about the
Well,
tales of the
technically, it
Citadel.
starts and ends with that, so
It did.
it's just Earth in the middle.
When I saw the previews to that, I'm like, this is a lie. I automatically know that this is a lie. I don't know. I just had that feeling. It was like, because
Yeah,
we're not being shown anything, so it's gotta be
yeah,
bullshit. Um,
yeah.
but
And then now, of course, like the whole evil Morty now. Yeah, people are loving him.
yeah, because
Uh,
when that first
I
happened,
liked
that
his
was
I
surprising.
liked his speech at the end. There's gonna be a speech of a political. politics, law and order,
Brotherhood, yeah.
chaos, and
But
it's
s-
like these
but
like
speeches
piano
are
tones
for
behind it.
elections. Now is the time for action.
Yeah, and that's why
Oh,
Rick and Morty's like very like speaks to like real world events, like because
oh
one
yeah,
would say that's like very like like Trump like something like that.
yeah. Um, what I also give that episode credit for, if you really stop to think about it, though, that means he did that whole episode himself. Justin Roiland, the creator and the voice of Rick and Morty, because we saw no other
Yeah,
characters in that whole episode. They were all Ricks and they were all Mortys. So that means he did that all alone. And
the whole episode.
I think that's pretty impressive.
There was I think there was another voice there.
I saw in the credits it said starring Jeff B. Davis, and I'm like, well, who the hell was that? I don't remember hearing any other voice in this entire episode. But
Uh, I think I saw. I think I heard one of It's like a side character. I gotta watch the episode again, but he's not entirely technically he's not all him, but yeah, it's all just the same voice. And it's funny because when I was watching it, my buddy mentioned right after it ended, he said, "Do you realize that we just saw an entire episode of just two people, one person talking like to themselves, pretty much?"
yeah,
It's
it
great.
was great. It was great. I loved it. Um, but I'm excited for next week's episode because it's we're finally getting a Beth and Rick episode. Father daughter. We have not we have not explored this dynamic at all. But we just
Yeah,
continuously see how dysfunctional their relationship is. But they have never been alone to talk about it. And this is going to be the first time where we're going to get to see them interact unfiltered. And hopefully, I'm expecting like some sort of trapped scenario episode where they're going to be forced to talk to each other.
yeah, yeah. That's the easiest way to do that type of
Yeah,
scenario.
but
Um,
but I'm looking forward to it. I don't even know if this is a season finale. I hope not. God, I hope not. I doubt
no,
it.
well, we're already 8 episodes in. Um, we should get at least a few more.
Hopefully, hopefully. But that episode was all. The whole episode was genius, and
Yeah. Oh, this
genius.
season, the season of Rick and Morty has been gold. Every episode has been awesome.
You know, you know who's
Pickle
also
Rick all the way up to now Evil Morty.
who also is certified to be gold? J.J.
What?
Abrams. J.J.
Who?
Abrams.
Oh, J.J. Abrams.
He's apparently gold because you like my segue because where he's been picked to direct for episode 9 of the Star Wars saga and
Return of the J.J.
Return of the JJ, Revenge of the JJ.
Abrams coming back for episode 9. Um, what are my thoughts? I think it's the right choice. Even though I didn't think that The Force Awakens was the best Star Wars film, I wouldn't say it's actually even one in the top half of the best
Hmm.
list of Star Wars movies. Um, I didn't like how it was. I mean, it was good execution, but it just being basically A New Hope rewrapped was just like so disappointing. There were good character arcs, and starting up the sequel trilogy. And JJ is right. He also if he did Force Awakens, he pretty much wrote and is co-producing uh, the Last Jedi, and
Yeah.
kind of only seems fitting that he would be the one to close out the sequel trilogy. So is he my top pick to direct? No, I think we could have got somebody maybe a little bit better, a little bit riskier, but um,
Now,
Lucas
it,
hasn't
it
hasn't
was
really
a
had a good track record with directors, so maybe they want to play it safe.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be the Lost World director, right? And then
Yes,
he
Colin
left
Trevorrow,
apparently. Yeah, and then
and
they said he left
he
due
directed
to
Jurassic World.
he said they said that he left due to creative differences. And I'm just like that to me, and that's just the guys are saying he had one vision, and all of Disney or whoever I believe the producer who's in
Kathleen Kennedy, man,
that
she's the
that's
one
her.
that I'm sure makes the decisions over there at Lucasfilm.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they just don't want to take risks. And so, like you said, it's safe route to go with J.J. Abrams. And I'm just here wondering, I don't even know what to expect because we would have to wait for, The Last Jedi to come out. And episode 9 doesn't even have a title, right?
Yeah, um, I mean, we're gonna get the thing that makes this whole J.J. Abrams thing so interesting is that we still don't know how the Last Jedi is gonna turn out.
Hmm.
It just it may it. I mean, that's the wild card here. And it's actually going to be interesting to see how people react after watching The Last Jedi to the J.J. Abrams fit. Um, but yeah, The Last Jedi is gonna that's gonna change a lot of things. I mean, yes, of course. How do we know The Last Jedi is gonna be good or it's good? There's been a lot of buzz in Hollywood that The Last Jedi is really it's a well done film. So
Well, it needs to be. Disney
yeah,
can't
it
afford
needs to be. I mean,
flops.
you know, Lucasfilm is and Disney is acting like a business. That's why they're doing this whole J.J. Abrams nomination, going safe with it. And yeah, I mean, honestly, my dream would have been for Lucas to come back and Mr. GL himself to come back
That's
and
not gonna
do it.
happen.
But
No, because I mean, you may like them, but those prequels, it's studios won't want to do that, uh, and I don't think Disney's gonna
oh
want
yeah,
to do
talk
that.
about creative differences. I'm sure Lucas would have been gone in a week.
Oh yeah, of course. Except it's just like it's especially since it's not his baby anymore. Technically, it's it's Disney's uh, adoptive baby now. You gave up your
Yeah.
baby, George. You gave up your baby at the courthouse. All right, for
Yeah.
four
Who
billion
would you
dollars.
have gotten to direct episode 9? Like, what would be Enrique's pick for a
Ooh.
director of Last Jedi?
See, since I don't know where we're heading, because we have to see like the Last Jedi. I feel like director and tone go hand in hand. But uh, ooh, that's a that's a good question. Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't have a high repertoire of directors because any names I say would be not a good fit. You know what? One name I would have said, and he's already doing a Han Solo movie, and that's Ron Howard. Uh,
Yeah, I was actually gonna mention Ron Howard just because it feels natural to talk about
yeah,
him, especially saying that like who do we get that's a high caliber director that can produce a film that's gonna make a lot of money. And Ron Howard doing Han Solo, I mean that's still up in the air. Who knows which way that's going? Um, I mean he's got a good cast. You got freaking Emilia Clarke. Of course, as we know, is Daenerys from Game of Thrones. You got Donald Glover. Um, and then you got oh yeah, of course, Woody Harrelson. And then you got his name escapes me now, but he played Chewbacca for half of The Force Awakens. So you got a good.
wait, it wasn't the same Chewbacca, the whole movie?
No, no. Ever since pretty much the preparation of The Force Awakens, Peter Mayhew's been kind of training this other guy. He's like a Swede. I think he's like just 1 inch shorter than Mayhew.
Yeah.
But
Well, no one's gonna
yeah,
notice an inch.
and he's like half Chewbacca is. He does half Chewbacca scenes in The Force Awakens, and he did it for.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he did it. He also he's been doing like he's pretty much Chewbacca now. So Peter
Yeah.
Mayhew he's a great guy and everything, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do,
No,
you
I
know,
mean, how old is he to
Tony
put in that
Amazon.
heavy ass costume, sweating it out on set? Man, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
So,
it
but
at
yeah,
that age.
so basically, my point is that, Ron Howard is gonna do something pretty good with that. He's gonna
Uh,
knock it out.
now I had some more time to think about it, and I'll tell you right now. Like, if the ending of the trilogy is gonna be like a fun romp adventure, uh, ooh, I'd say Steven Spielberg. But if it's gonna
But
be a
that's
sad
like
ending,
that's basically JJ. That's what we're getting right there. We're
how
getting
dare you?
Steven Spielberg clone.
How
You know,
dare you? All right, a clone with like a gene deficiency. All right, because no. None of JJ's movies hold up to a caliber of pop culture icon, like burn into your memory. I mean, the closest one that you could argue with is Star Wars, but that's because it's already a name before he got there. Like what is it? What's the first J.J. Abrams thing that's not already set in stone? This pops into your head because I'm thinking the first Cloverfield and the TV show Lost.
yeah, that's a Lost.
Yeah,
But he's also produced. He was a producer, I think, on Westworld as well.
yeah, but
Um,
producing is just throwing your money at people who like who you think like you. That's what I always feel like when I see producer. I'm like, all right, J.J. Abrams produced this, so he found a bunch of other people who he thinks think like him. But that's my opinion on the word producer. And we all know executive producer is just some way to get people to shut up. At least
yeah,
that's what comedy keeps telling me.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I think Steven Spielberg would be good if it's like an adventurous romp. But see, JJ's got he does the adventure romp, but I feel like it's more. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say flashy. Uh, I don't
Lens
know.
flary.
Yeah, lens flare. I liked the first Star Trek. The second one was crap. The third one is the best. The
Yeah,
into
Beyond,
the Beyond.
Star
Yeah,
Trek Beyond.
I was gonna say
I saw
Into the
that too. It
Beyond.
was pretty good.
I was gonna say Into the Beyond, and I'm like, no, that's two titles mixed into
No,
one. That's not right.
into darkness or
Yeah,
into the darkness.
yeah. There was something
That's one
wrong
of
with movies just a few years ago. Once the Joker did the thing in The Dark Knight where he tricked them into wanting to be captured, everyone started doing it.
the.
Have you noticed? Think about it. Loki wanted to be captured. Uh,
Yeah.
the guy in the second Star Trek, Khan, wanted to be captured, and
Oh,
I'm like,
true. That's true.
everyone started doing it. I think there are more examples, but I'm going into a rant. I'm going into a rant about reusing story things when we could be going into a rant of something else.
Everything's recycled, man.
Everything
Every
is
idea,
recycled
every song, you know,
in one way or another is a
it's
callback
all
or
recycled.
recycled or stolen. Yeah, I know. And speaking of recycling, it will become the highest grossing horror movie of all time.
Yep.
Have you seen it?
Basically, Geek Tyrant has reported that it will become the highest-grossing horror film of all time. The mo- It is expected to beat the record tomorrow, which this was written today, Wednesday. So by Thursday and by Sunday, it will have made around $270 million.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't actually.
We're gonna go
But
see it this
I've been
Saturday.
seeing it make a buzz. Like there's like a Lego version of the opening scene or something.
Nice. I think I've seen it. Yeah. Uh,
No, I mean the original it for a long time was my childhood, like my scariest childhood movie, horror movie.
Hmm.
But I mean, this Pennywise seems to, I mean, connected with people. I haven't seen it. Uh,
The next few sentences I'm
a
about
little
to say
lady
are,
named Irma has been preventing certain things.
of course,
But I mean, kudos to that. I mean, it's hard to copy something, and make it better and beat it. Like as far as of
the original movie.
money making wise.
Well, I have not seen it yet. I am going to see it this Saturday. And
Okay.
my next unpopular statement is I've never seen the Tim Curry 1990 movie. Also, I
Um,
did not know
it
it. I've never seen it. I've never seen the original It.
the original it.
Yeah, never seen it.
Oh wow.
I did
Yeah,
not
that was
know it was a
scary.
TV movie. I did not know it was a TV movie.
Oh, crazy.
Did you know that? Did you like it was a made-for-TV film with two parts. The first part when they're kids and the second part when they're adults. It's a 4-hour movie technically.
Oh,
So,
so that's why they're gonna basically continue
yeah.
the
Yeah,
trend
yeah.
of that with this. I mean, they've already announced too, that they're already working on that, and
Hmm. And they'll be
uh,
adults in that one.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna go see it at my local Cine Bristo. For those of you who don't know, Cine Bristo is just a nice little theater where they bring you food and make you feel shamed if you bring children to it because it looks fancy.
Uh, that was the Cena Bistro plug.
That was a Cine
Uh,
Bristo plug. They did not pay me for it, but they should.
yes, they should send a check to Galactic Geeks, North Pole.
North Pole. We're not Santa Claus.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Here-
31, 2. Boom. Alrighty then. So I guess you know what? Let's get into the comics of the week that we have here. Uh,
Yes, comics.
comics. Um, I want to start out with the comics of the week, the pick of the week, the big one of the litter. I'm going to start from awesome to least awesome. Actually, no, that's actually wrong. I'm going reverse. I'm going from least awesome to most awesome. And I'm going to start off with The Amazing Spider-Man number 35, written by Dan Slott and art by Greg Smallwood. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I will because it's a filler. Secret Empire has ended, so we get this little filler Spider-Man story of Norman Osborn, who's apparently sane and hates it. He hates being sane. That's not a euphemism. Apparently, Peter cured him of his Green Goblinitis and put nanites in his blood that if he ever tries or gets the Goblin serum in his bloodstream, the nanites will destroy it. So then he doesn't turn into the Green Goblin. And he hates it because he keeps trying to
Oh
turn
wow,
into the Green Goblin and it works too well. So he
that's
goes
an
around the
anti-goblin serum.
yeah, yeah, little nanobots in his bloodstream that'll eat it up. So he goes to scientists, he goes to doctors, and nobody can quote help him um, get rid of the nanites in his blood. So he can't be crazy anymore because he thinks his genius is in tune with that insanity. He can't come up with crap unless he's like off his meds. Um, so then he jumps to the conclusion that he needs magic. So he goes to the place where it seems like where Doctor Strange was trained, and he's told to like put his hand on top of a rock, at the top of a gem, and then like to see what his potential is. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like you have the potential to use magic. So the monks teach him magic, and he's with them. He learns, he meditates, and when it's time to do his final test, because they've taught the Green Goblin fucking magic, They tell him to put on the mask of your spirit animal, and he tells them, "No, fuck you. I'm gonna put on this wooden mask of the Green Goblin I found because I'm crazy again. Yay!" Uh, and they're like, "Well, you're supposed to still do your final test, and that's fight your inner demon." So he teleports Spider-Man from where I assume he was ordering ice cream because he said something about extra hot fudge, and then he realized where he was at, and and then he sees that Green Goblin is starting to shoot like magic from his hands. And he's like, "Why is he doing that? How is he doing that?" And they're like, "Oh, we instructed him in the ways of magic." It's like, "You taught the Green Goblin magic? Who would do that? Why would you do that?" Uh, and then
Like
the Green
that's like a list of things. That's like top of the list of things that you don't want to do. Teach magic to your enemies.
Exactly, especially your the ones that love being psychotic. Um, but already towards the end of the issue, he knocks him out. He knocks out Spider-Man, and then like he sucks Spider-Man away into a black hole, and he's like, "Oh, he's the first in many. I'm gonna, be a great asshole with this." And then he fights his teachers, and then boom, we are back to where the issue started when he put his hand on top of the stone, and he
Mm.
goes, "What happened? What was that?" It's like it was your first test and your last test. That you were just shown your potential. So none of that happened. That it all happened in his head magically. If he were to have learned magic, he would have been an asshole. Um, so then
Nice.
the monks kick him out, and they tell him, we're going to warn all the other orders. You will not be shown these ways. But then he just starts laughing because it's like, but you showed me that I can get the goblin back, that it can happen. So all they did was give the psycho hope,
Oh my
and
god.
and that is literally how the issue ends. It's a
Uh,
filler, but it was a pretty good filler, I gotta say.
yeah,
I
it
got
sounds like it was nice and self-contained and
it
almost like a
was
what-if situation.
it was a what if, but it happened, but not really. But
Yeah.
so I think those are the best kind. It's better than it's all a dream, even though that was technically a dream. But hey, whatever. It's magic, so it's a dream, but it would have happened that way.
It's
When
comics. Time, you know, timeline doesn't need to make sense.
exactly. And then next on the list, Secret Empire Omega, written by Nick Spencer and art by Andrea Sorrentino. Uh, Secret Empire has ended, but this is like a an epilogue, if you will. Um, Great art, amazing art. Sorrentino is great with colors. It always looks like a gritty Sin City painting with colors. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. Um,
Yeah.
what the story was about essentially is good Captain America breaks into the jail where evil Captain America is at, just so they can have a conversation of like how he was wrong and all that. I mean that was pretty much the whole issue. But the huge takeaway of it was when Evil Cap says, "You're gonna try and try me, but I did nothing illegal. You made me. These people made me the head of Shield. I used the emergency powers that were given to me. I have technically not done anything illegal." And I look back at it and I'm like, holy crap, he's right. He was an asshole, but he didn't do technically anything illegal. But he was still morally an asshole. So
Yeah.
and they have this debate. But the issue is more about the art and like summing up everything that happened if you didn't bother reading these past 10 issues. Um, and the the craziest parts are where the evil Cap believes that Hydra did win World War II, that this is all a lie, because that's the reality he was pulled from, but he thinks that this is his reality. And the line that he says, I feel like mirrors the society we live in now, because he's like, you lived in a world where Hydra wanted to take over the world, but now we live in a world where Hydra wants to take back the world. And I was like, damn, that is. that's a frightening notion because that I feel like reflects in our times. Like, neo-Nazis wanted to take over the world, but now they think they can take back the world, you know?
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
that sounds like a
and
fun. That sounds like a fun little arc. Good Captain America against evil Captain America.
it's what people love. Um, and then it ends with Captain America leaving, and then the guards rushing in to like detain their evil Cap because Good Cap broke in and set off an alarm to go talk to this guy. And then when the guards are
Yeah.
holding him down, they're like, "Stand still, prisoner!" And then one guard leads in and just says, "Hail Hydra!" And you're like, "Ah, of course, because he's gonna break out and bullcrap's going to ensue." But yeah, and but all in all, this issue was way more about the art than anything. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And getting to the end of our list here, we got the DC Comics event Metal #2, written by Scott Snyder and art by Greg Capullo. Uh, and you said you read through this, you said, or you skimmed through it?
Yeah, I read it. Read it recently, and it's a good comic.
Did you read the
One
first one?
that coming from, I read comics from time to time, but I wouldn't call myself like a comic expert in any sense of the word. But this was a good comic. The story was there. It had characters that we know, of course, the Justice League, pretty much Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman. But it was a good chemistry between them. Superman leading the kind of the team, moving the plot forward. I loved the cover. That cover of issue Metal #2 is really good. Kind of shows that portal
Oh,
or
which one of
explosion,
the
if you
covers,
will,
though?
um, where Superman is standing like valiantly, and then like
Uh,
Wonder Woman is there and Batman is there, like he's
yeah.
standing like inches away from that portal blast radius shield thing, and it's like he's not even phased.
Now, like, I am reading this Metal series, but my only issue is it with, and I may sound like, lazy. It was a little wordy with the journal entries.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but
Carter Hall.
yeah, which I don't know if you're aware of. That's Hawkman.
Right.
Yeah,
I realized it. I believe the Metal #1 that Hawkman was
yeah,
part of this plot.
yeah. Because there's like, from what I understand, with more avid DC comic readers, the running joke is that they keep trying to make Hawkman cool for some reason, and it doesn't work. So this is obviously another attempt to do it, and we're barely even getting him. But we get Batman Jets like trying to get away from the Justice League because he stole an artifact,
Yeah,
and
that's a
and
potentially catastrophic weapon.
yeah, yeah, and then when they finally catch up to Batman, it's everyone, it's his Bat family, and they're all dressed up like Batman. And it's obviously a whole, like switcheroo. Um,
Yeah,
but then the great moment about
decoys.
that was when first when Nightwing tricks them and just apparently leads the Justice League into the lair of the Swamp Thing. Uh,
Hmm.
that was great.
By the way, that swamp thing looked really cool.
The
Like
artwork,
that
yes.
two-page spread
Hmm.
was really well done, and the tentacles capturing all the heroes, and he's just like right in the center, like roaring.
It
Uh,
was great.
yeah,
Wait, did I
really
say
cool.
Swamp Thing? Is it Swamp Thing or Man Thing?
I mean,
One's
it looked
DC and one's
to me.
Marvel.
I say it's a Swamp Thing monster. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, 8, 9, 10 feet tall.
Now I'm not even
Just
sure. Because one's called Man Thing and one's called Swamp Thing. One's from DC and one's from Marvel. So
mhm.
I'm lost, but I'm not gonna dwell into that. But the and the
Yeah, it
next
was a
big
Swamp Thing.
and the next big point we get is when Superman rips Batman out of his car, like in the mid sentence. That was great.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and it's like, come on, it's like stop this game. Like, all right, like Daddy had to step in, and and it was cool
Exactly.
because then Superman, in trying to calm him down, basically says like, "Oh, we're brothers," like we can tell
Yeah.
each other things, and
And then Batman
we're
explains
in
to
this
him.
together, man.
Batman explains to him vaguely what's going on, and then Wonder Woman's like he's stalling, and then Superman really looks at him and then just punches him straight for the
Oh yeah,
chest.
he does. Yeah, he does a
And,
punch through his chest, which was pretty cool.
and then we're all like, I was instantly not realizing what was happening, and I realized, okay, it's Clayface. Oh my God,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
any other
Clayface.
reason would not have made any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Um,
But the art was pretty good. Like, I mean, it was very bright colors. It was very detailed. Um,
no, I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the art. Like I said, my only issue was a little wordy with the journal entries, but other than that,
yeah,
that cleared up pretty quickly.
yeah.
And once we get that cool moment with Clayface, because I forgot that Clayface is a good guy now, and he's part of like the Batman team. I don't know how that happened. I
Oh,
just started
okay.
reading Batman recently, and apparently this
Yeah, I
is
was
a
wondering
thing.
why, because like the rest of the Batman is like Batgirl,
Yeah,
Robin, like Nightwing, and then it's like Clayface is the last one. Like, what?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that happened. That was a question I had recently, but for you, it must have been like, what the fuck? What the
Yeah,
f-?
yeah, I was like a little bit like, okay, all right, who is this guy?
But
But then after that, they basically kind of move on. Like the story moves on to the five metals. Batman starts explaining like to Superman that it's like these five metals, these mystic metals that have to do with this prophecy that supposedly Batman is this portal to this. I don't know, like what
Dark
would you say it is? Like
Universe.
an evil dark metal verse,
Yeah,
and then oh that little shot of or panel of Batman fighting the Joker, and then getting the card in the eye, and then he mentions, oh, that he died as well that day
yeah.
with this
I haven't read
particular
those either.
Joker.
So you and me are on the same boat because I haven't read those issues that he's like alluding to.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and
So then, oh, a big laughing out loud to Baby Darkseid.
yeah, that turned out to be the artifact. And I'm just like, when did this happen? I'm reading this, I'm reading all of this, and I'm just like walking away with more questions than answers. And it's only because I
Yeah,
haven't read any of the things that lead up to this. And since you're not an avid comic reader, this is the problem between DC and Marvel. If I hand you a Marvel comic, you almost don't even really need to know what's going on.
yeah,
Or you don't need a backtrack catalog of like the last 8 months to figure out how we got here to like evil Captain America. It happened. We're here.
yeah.
Deal with it. But with this, it's like, oh well, I'm Batman, and like, hey, remember when this happened to me and this happened to me? Oh, remember that one vague shit that happened to me like 5 years ago? It's all making sense now. But you've been
Mm,
following, of course. And that's
yeah,
that's the hardcore difference between DC and Marvel. But I still enjoyed it in lack of that. Um,
yeah.
and then we get the Court of the Owls that pop in. I don't know if you know who those guys are, because I actually read that arc, so it was one of the few times I
No, no,
was
I
not
didn't know who
lost.
they were. But I love it because it was like a it's a trap moment, where
Yeah,
Batman trips the trap, and
yeah. Maybe I have
gets
too
him
much
out of nowhere.
expectations for Batman, but I'm just like, this seemed like a basic trap.
Yeah, like come on, Batman, get on your game.
Um,
Uh, but
and then
then
they,
like he ends up getting shot with like a million, I guess, like trank darts
yeah,
or whatever that
no, they
was,
hit
and
him
then
with the metal that they needed. And I see, I'm still vague
oh
on all
yeah,
this shit. And then he
yeah, that
became a
was the
portal
last
to the
metal
Dark
that was
Universe.
needing to be, I
Yeah,
guess, introduced in order for them to activate the portal,
yeah,
which Batman himself ends up like kind of transforming, like almost like kind of
into the portal.
uh, yeah, into the portal itself, like and so then basically then that awesome metal Batman group shot.
That was great. Oh well, first we get the evil little Robins that just say
Oh yeah,
crow,
the
crow,
Robins
crow.
tearing apart the owl guys that that helped get the portal open.
Yeah, That was creepy.
Grow, 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 grow.
And then we get the shout. It's like, Bruce, where are you? It's like, you want Bruce Wayne? And then look around you. And then they're all just there in a group shot and they're all saying, I am here. Like it's a freaking
Yeah, we're right here, or I'm
I
right
know.
here.
That was all
Um,
uncomfortable.
yeah, the Batman. I think I read an article. Is the leader is the one who owns, I guess, or is in charge of the Robins.
Yeah, that was
He's the
uncomfortable.
Batman who laughs.
Hmm.
BWL, as it were.
Um, and then I think they sucked the energy out of or
Oh
life force
yes,
out of Wonder
that
Woman and Superman.
was that
I,
was actually very metal AF.
yeah,
Um, the Batman, I guess, who laughs, basically just kind of zapped Superman and Wonder Woman because they were still tranquilized or whatever from the trap, and he sucks the life right out of them. He just basically you see them turning old very fast and just kind of dying. And I was like, whoa, like
yeah.
Superman and Wonder Man dying, and then this metal Batman group shot with all these different crazy Batmans. Like, whoa, what? This is getting good.
And then pretty much I think it ends right there. So I'm gonna keep up with it. Uh, I'm
Yeah.
in, I'm enjoying the artwork now because I don't know if you read number one, but they had like four different artists and the art just kept jumping around and I didn't like that. But
Yeah, I did read the first one. I didn't notice the art change too much. But I'm liking this whole metal series. Like now, this thing just took a crazy turn. Um, because now you got the leaders of the Justice Super Friends done, and I'm sure these Batmen are gonna hunt the rest of them down, and
hmm
some crazy shit is gonna happen. I'm sure.
um, Also a little side note, I don't know if you know, but the artist says that he's gonna hide the devil horns, like that thing that metal people do with their hands, in every
Yeah.
issue, in each issue. And
Oh.
in that issue number two, Baby Darkseid threw up the metal horns. He did the double horn.
Oh.
He did.
Huh. I gotta check that out when
Yeah.
next read through.
I think it was actually in the group shot when he's like, because he's on the floor, like sitting down, and he's like reaching
Yeah.
up with his arm. But yeah, yeah, the artist says he's gonna do that. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, like I said, I'll keep up with it. Let's see how it is for the next one. But that leads us into our last comic pick of the week. And hold on, wait, I want to say this title because I believe it is hilariously long. Hold on, no. What is it? Is Road? No, Star Wars: Road to the Last Jedi, Captain Phasma.
Yes.
Written by Kelly Thompson and art by Marco Cheeto? Chectio? Cheeto. Cheeto. His name's
Sorry if I
Cheeto.
butchered your name.
His name's Cheeto. But
Sorry, Mr. Cheeto.
we pick up with this. I was looking forward to this because I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see how they redeem this character because we hyped ourselves up for her, and I was surprised that it picked up right after basically she got dumped into the garbage during the
Right.
events of The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Uh, uh-huh.
she blasts her way out of the trash compactor with what looks like maybe like a thermal detonator, some type of grenade.
Hmm.
So she doesn't stay in that trash compactor very long at all.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, because we,
yeah,
we all wondered because like they said she was going to be in more movies and these comics are canon,
right,
so we're not going to
right.
see it in a movie how she survived. Even though I feel like we should if she's going to be like a continuous character, but we're getting this here. That's what was
No,
kind of
I
surprising
think
to
I
me.
mean I think we're gonna see her just picking up where this Phasma comic is eventually gonna lead. Is gonna pick up from there into the Last Jedi. I mean, we already have the Phasma book, so which I'm sure is pre The Force Awakens. You
Yeah.
know, which but a side note, I think she has to, maybe spoiler alert for possible spoiler alert. I think she may have had to do a little bit with the destruction of the new Jedi Order that Luke was putting together.
Yeah, because of the flashbacks, right? No, well, no, because Kylo Ren was in those flashbacks in the first one,
Right.
right? Yeah, but it could have been like her squadron, or she could have been one of those soldiers before she got promoted. But
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you gotta think story wise. Yeah, but
Yeah. So
so
basically, Phasma number one kind of just picks up. It's kind of like a side by side. Like it's happening at the last pretty much like 10 minutes of when Starkiller Abyss is gonna fire
mhm.
its kill shot. Of the on the Republic, and it's basically yes, her getting out of the trash compactor, basically finding the nearest trooper and basically commanding him what to do as she gets back to the command and find out what's going on. And then she basically looks into the records and she finds out how the shields may have been compromised. So she gets the name of this like lieutenant guy who she believes is a traitor who gave security codes or security clearance
Wait,
to the resistance.
no, wait. In the movie, she's the one that did the shields. I thought she was just pinning it on somebody else and then trying to get them killed.
No, no, I think she like honestly believes that this person was like he gave them some type of like she believes that he's in working with the resistance. That's I mean I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe she may be doing it for other reasons, but it looks like she's convinced that that's him.
Okay.
Um, I don't think she's trying to pin it on someone else, or I think she was just trying to get to the bottom of like what exactly is happening. Like what I'm saying.
hmm
So I mean maybe I need to read it again, but I'm confident that that's what is going on here, and
But
it's
we definitely,
basically like the countdown of the firing of the weapon in the movie, and this is going alongside that. Those
yeah,
final,
I gotta say, like the artwork was very nice. Uh, they make her look like a complete badass, walking out of that
yeah,
trash
yeah,
compactor.
yeah,
Uh,
commanding troops, get kicking ass, breaking through doors,
you
and it was
you
pretty cool
realize
to see like
she,
Imperial like point of view of when the Tie fighters were like you know basically proton bombing the crap out of Starkiller base's like interior. And like this is like seeing it from the ground view, like as they're shaking, like from the falling down from the blasts. And it was cool seeing like Phasma in control. Like again,
yeah,
as you said earlier, we didn't see too much of her in the Force Awakens, and she was poorly used. I believe that as well. Don't think she was like the new Boba Fett. I mean, she certainly has that aesthetic, like the warrior, the armored warrior,
hmm
ready to do what's done.
yeah,
But yeah, this was pretty cool. And then a little highlight for me was that Phasma ends up seeing Kylo Ren fight
yes,
Rey. Um, apparently, I guess she was nearby and she saw like the clashing of the lightsabers, and that was a nice little a point
the
adding to the connectedness.
the highlights for me was watching her miss, just like all stormtroopers do. At least her excuse was, oh, the planet's shaky. But then she follows the guy. He gets away on a TIE fighter, and she jumps in on one, and pretty much commanding somebody to fly with her.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
she recruits a sidekick basically at that moment. She's like, "All right, you with me, you got to protect me, and you got to do what I say."
yeah.
Grabs a Tie Fighter, and then the Tie Fighter ends up having a BB-9E unit,
hmm
which was pretty cool. I mean, which is what we saw now with Force Friday, BB-8's
That was
evil
quick.
counterpart, um, and we saw him in the commandeered Tie Fighter
Yeah, she even
going
points him
after
out.
this Sol Rivas guy, supposed traitor. And I mean, it all pretty much this first issue just boils down to the last like uh, lines by Phasma, where she goes, recording final moments of destruction of Starkiller Base for further debriefing.
hmm
So this is really connecting those last moments of the Force Awakens and going into her own little story arc.
Um, I think plot twist. I think plot twist is that the guy she's with is the guy she's trying to kill.
Oh, that would be cool, but
Like
it
you
would be
said,
kind of hard. He better not take off his helmet because she knows how he looks like,
that is
you know,
true.
from the security hologram. So
Yeah, but all he had to do was send
that's
a
a good
sh
one though. That's a good little plot twist.
he
But the TIE
probably
fighter that was just manning one of the TIE fighters nearby, the other one that got hijacked, is
hmm
actually the hijacker.
There you go. There you go. Those were our comic picks of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed every issue that we have spoiled here for you if you haven't read it. But hey, we're reviewing
Spoiler alert.
comics. I know, no, we're reviewing comics. You can't review comics without completely talking about the story in a podcast because it's not like I can show you art without word bubbles. All right? They don't need a spoiler alert. They just should have known already what they were getting into. That's right. I'm blaming you, the audience. I'm kidding. Don't leave us. We love you. Uh,
Stick around.
Stick around, please. Please. Um, but before we go, I just got one random question for you. Do you watch BoJack Horseman on Netflix?
Yes, actually, I think it's funny. I haven't seen too many episodes because my significant other hates it.
What?
Uh, yeah, well, I mean, I just like obnoxious humor.
Oh
You know,
man,
Rick
I mean,
and
I love
Morty,
it.
and
I just
you
saw
know,
season four, and like, yeah, the main character is obnoxious, but like, I don't know how much of it you've seen, but it just gets depressing and
yeah.
funny. It is both depressing and hilarious. Uh,
And then you have like celebrity like guest voices.
and people making fun of
Uh,
celebrity guest
you know,
voices. But no, I just finished season four. I gotta say, it's great. I just rewatched the whole series, and it's great. I just love Will Arnett. Will Arnett is
oh
great.
yeah,
He is awesome. Lego
he's awesome.
Batman,
He
BoJack,
did you see that? Did you see that Netflix Live event?
the April Fool's one.
Um, the I don't know if it was for April Fools, but because I think I ended up watching it after what it premiered. But it's like basically like showing a live shot of a toaster in an
Yes,
office being used.
that was for April Fool's. It was only on Netflix for 2 days.
Wow, 2 days. Wow, because
Yeah,
I ended up catching it.
it was called
I guess it
Netflix
was.
Live. That's what it was called. It was
Yeah,
called Netflix
it
Live.
stars Will Arnett. He basically kind of
Canceled.
narrates like, and he's like sitting in front of the camera, like narrating, just talking crap, like
Yeah,
basically about some. And there's like this empty office where they have different views of. And then the one that I thought was hilarious was the guy trying to parallel park and was just
yes.
like worst parallel parker imaginable, and it was cringeworthy and
The whole thing was, and I only watched it because of Will Arnett. If they got anybody else to do that, I would have been like, none of this is funny. But god damn it, he sells it. But that'll do for another episode of the Galactic Geek Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. As always, you could follow us on Twitter at GalacticGcast, or you could email us at galacticgeekspodcast@gmail.com, or you could just follow me on Twitter personally at HiAsh0716, or you could follow my friend here, good friend here, Alexis, at Lex287. Um,
it's your boy.
it's there you go. Right there. I just hit the button. He didn't say that. I have that here on file. Until next time, Hail Hydra.
And may the force be with you.